Hold up.
Sendra Rose, welcome to the damn kickback. Raise your glass, girl.
Thank you so much, baby boy.
Okay, what are you drinking?
So, girl, I have my bottle right behind me because I am trying
Oh,
to get up. It's Pinnacle and then a little bit with rock salt to give me my energy on going on.
oh, fuck it up. That's literally a club drink.
It is. I mean, I'm a club girl, so might as well keep it clubbing. When the time is right, it's right. So.
Exactly. And I'm drinking rosé. I want it to be the classy one on screen today.
Rose.
Ro-
So you just want to be drinking me? I
It's
know. I'm a
discernment.
nice glass of chocolate milk, but you know.
Chocolate milk, boy. That has an expiration date, though. Are you still fresh?
This one, she regenerates. There you go. Rejuvenates.
That's it. You look fabulous, though, I must say. So did you do is this a wig that you made yourself? I know you're a crafty.
Yeah, so so it's a human hair, my first one, first of all, my first one. I'm very proud of it because so I got it from Amazon and then I was like, this is not full. I mean, a full girl, she needs to be full too.
For sure.
So I ended up buying a couple bundles and I was like, damn. And I feel it. I was like, as I'm doing it, I was like, now I feel how homegirls be working at the salon and taking the time and then pulling that in and making that. So when you want to pull it off and everything or being dug in from the back, it won't come off. So, she's cute. I'm very proud of it because it's like kind of naturally hair color too, because she's dark.
Yes.
So, with the waves, Colombian. So hey, hello.
Yes, no, you literally look like a senorita on welfare. And
I mean, the times are hard now, girl. The times are hard. So
no, JK, seriously, that isn't a joke for the times because it's their hard time.
I mean, it is what it is. It's the truth. So whatever it happens.
No, seriously. So first of all, for everyone who's just now listening, I've personally known you for years at this point. We started off working in the mall together, bottom of the barrel.
Wow. All the teas and all. So everybody.
Yes. And the first time, I don't know if you remember this, but the first time I met you, you were still working at Zara and I was working at Bare Minerals at the time. So we hadn't started working together yet. Mm-hmm. And this was around the time, malls, I don't think will ever be like that again, where it's just like fully functioning, hundreds of people in a mall at one time.
I mean, I'm an optimist, so I believe that's going to happen again. I mean, people are we're humans. So after things happen, they go off after a while. Consider like the Black Plague, it killed a third of the population. That was way back in the day. Right. And now it's like way more, and it hasn't really killed a lot of people. I mean, God bless, like a lot of people haven't died as much as there. I mean, I think we're survivors. We survive and thrive, and then I think once people get into it and get synced with each other, they're gonna get back to normal, per se.
I am praying we get there too, because I love Zoom, but I'm getting tired of it. I'm so getting tired.
I'm an interaction. I like I feel the vibe. I mean, mind you, we know each other, so we know already how it's gonna go. But I'm a personal person. I'm very social, so I think we're gonna get there eventually.
Yes. Well, I personally cannot wait. And the cool thing with you is that now, okay, let's start from the beginning. Yeah. I remember when we first met each other, you were a baby queen. You were just starting out. You were in some of the crunchier phases of your career.
Very crunchy, very.
Yes, but we look where we got. So a full woman sits before me.
Yes.
And so I remember you and the drive that you had to do drag. So walk me through exactly what got you into doing drag in San Francisco, and have you done it in other places? I know you're originally from Boston, right?
Yes, I'm originally from Boston. So well, let's go back to the beginning.
Yes, please.
When I first started doing drag, I was 17. I was a little Latin thespian boy in Massachusetts, and I was dating this chick. Actually, no, we broke up way after that. Okay. Way before that. So she was my best friend, Deanna, and then Halloween came up, and then I was like, what can we do? So I was like, I don't know. I like we were doing a couple, like we already did a couple things. I had Halloween party, like we did the oh my god, I can't even think about Sweeney Todd. So I was Mr. Sweeney and she was Miss forgot her name. But you know, the crazy you know what
I'm
wow,
calling the company.
bad lesbian. But she was the girl part, and then obviously, and so we had this like spirit week in the high school, and then there was celebrity day, there was the normal Halloween day, spirit day, and there was like decade day.
Mm.
So and we're stuck in celebrity day. I was like, what the hell are we gonna do? I'm like, I could be JC, but like, I'm like, come on, girl, like you white. So like, it's not gonna happen like that. Like, and there's not really like couples like that are like black and white back in the day. Now there is,
Right.
and so she was like, we were stuck on telephone because at the time that came out, like
Yeah.
a lot of fucking telephone, and so I was like, okay, and she goes, what we could do, Lady Gaga and Beyonce. I was like, I don't know about that. I was like, do you realize I'm a Catholic boy? I live in a Catholic family. I have
Right.
I'm being watched like the goddamn hawk of the entire century. So I don't know how to pull it off. So then I was like, okay, you know what? Screw it. I am a rebel, so I like to do things my way. So we ended up going to Savers. I bought I still actually have the outfit somewhere in my
Oh
room.
crap.
Right. 10 years. Oh God. So I got the outfit together. I got a little like corset top. I painted it blue. I put the stars on it. Girl, I went in. So I ended up making my own skirt, like striped reds, and then I
Yes.
my kitty heels, you know, like from like the 60s, like it's like a tiny little thing. And it was
Yes.
like, I was like, I don't know how to do like I don't know how to buy heels. I was like, these are a size 10. I'm a size 10, so they'll work. Surprisingly, it did.
Okay, fuck it up.
You know, like back in the day, like people were they were working women. So I mean, like more working women than they are now. Like they used to walk. So
Yes,
like
yes.
so then they know like their feet are gonna spread. So like they were a
Yes.
little wide. So it's like, but my feet are much more wider than that. Fortunately. So I ended up doing this. So I stayed up all night, and then the day of, I I put the tights on. I put the dress on, like the outfit underneath. I put a sweater and then a sweatshirt. I did my makeup and I had a hoodie on. I was like, oh, I put everything in the bag, and then I was like, okay, Deanna, be at the house like in 2 seconds. Hey, Deanna. And so she was in the car, and my mom, like, I was like, I told her, I was like, get up early. So I
Yes.
not face my parents, because my mom, you know, I don't know what it is about them. They like to wake up at 6. I'm
Oh
gonna have
yeah,
to
that's
be
a
at,
thing.
right, and then we have to be at school at 7. I was like, girl, come in at freaking way much earlier.
Yes.
So the second I got it, I was very quiet, and then the second I opened the door, my mom's like opening up, and I'm like, no, 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 no. She's like, under this. I was like, I'm like, bye, mommy, bye, bye. I'm like, she luckily she didn't see anything. Get in the car, take everything off, my sweatband, my sweatshirt, have the outfit on, and just put the wig on. I was like, God Lord. And this is like during the fall. So it
Yes.
kind of started getting a little bit more on the colder side. So I'm like, oh God, all right, all right. And I'm barely wearing anything. So that's a rugged, busted outfit. But ended up going in everywhere, and then spending the full day in Halloween celebrity day in drag, and it was just because of her. She was Beyonce and I was Lady Gaga, and
Yes.
Party City hair. So I thank her for that. I mean,
Yes.
hopefully. And then every year on Halloween, like I think a lot of drag queen stars to do it every year, and not to just like because they're unsure if they want to do it or
Right.
it's like it's just for fun and stuff like that. So I kept doing it every year, and I kept getting better a little bit more. I think the next year, like the Wicked Witch, terrible. Then the week the year after that, I did Beyonce. I was like on point with that because I bought the Super Bowl outfit. I ended up doing the whole hair.
Yes.
I loved it. So it's like years after I kept doing that, and then once I moved to here to San Francisco, I didn't do Halloween I didn't do drag for a long time. And then one of my friends from Zara, she was just like, come out. I was like, I don't know about that. And I started making more friends because I'm like, you just see all the queens here. They're like a little bit more, way more polished than I was. So I was like, I don't know. I mean, everyone has their own drag. So there's some pretty queens more like, right. I mean, you can drag her down like a clown, but that's cute. Anyway, so so like I have my like I've done my different type of drag. I've done like the classic drag,
yes,
with more blocked out eyebrows, more higher, bigger the better, more bolder, which is I was basing up from my drag mother, which is Poyo Lamar.
yes,
Amazing queen.
yes.
But I'm not as funny as her. She's a very brutal queen, and she will read you even when you don't think about it. And I'm like, oh shit, that is it's like it's a very intellectual read. And I was like, fuck. You got home, like, this bitch just really read me, and I had no idea. So I started going after her, and right. I was like, fuck. I was like, I'm like, in me, oblivious majority of the time. So and then I'm like, everyone's like, girl. I'm like, what? She's like, you'll get it. I was like, okay, cool. And then I'll get it. Fuck. But so I started doing, and then I came out, and I liked it. And then I was like, a couple months later, I was with my roommate Josh.
Yes.
No, Josh. Yeah. So he was like, let's just come on, let's just do it again. And I'm like, okay. So I ended up buying all the outfits from Zara. And then I ended up doing it. I came out, and then I kept meeting Poyo, and she eventually she's like, I'm gonna take you before anyone snatches it. I was like, I have no idea what this is. I was like, New City. I am not much of aware of the gay culture because in Boston's a little bit more, way more conservative than it is here. As much as I want to say that very open-minded with the gay community, they're still there. They're getting there. Thank God.
Yes.
But it's like they're still in process. Right. And so I mean, here it's like I am so like culture shocked, and I'm just like, okay, well, what do I do? What do I wear? How do I act? And it's like, and so she started like mentoring me more and more, and I just fell in love with art because I'm a performer. I'm also an artist. I use Sendra as a canvas of like as much as I can. Like Sendra is very much my mom.
Yes.
Crazy Latina. She's essential. She is intellectual. She's dumb, but she's like, she knows when to get you, and then she just kind of just plays it nice and classy. Yes. But the second you flipped her off, everything comes up. Exactly. So it's a very yin and yang. I'm a Gemini. So
oh yes, I forgot. Oh boy.
So you get the best of both worlds. You get the nicer side. Algin is very quiet. He's very, go with the flow. Doesn't really want to bother anybody. And then Sandra, she's like, so that's what it is. And so I started doing. That's how I started seeing a lot of the queens that I loved here, and I just kept falling in love with it. And I was like, I like this. I like showing a different side of masculinity.
Yes.
And femininity.
Yes. Right?
And so, and then I like to express how women feel, how they act, and then how and not just so seclude them into being like this and that, black and white. So it's like, no, it's expressing and loving each gender and be gender fluid at the same time. Women can be masculine, men can be feminine, and then vice versa, everything completely. So that's what I started right here.
For sure. No, and that's actually quite an inspiring journey, which we've talked about in part, but this is the first time I've heard it in full. And so it's been quite interesting to personally see the growth of Sendra Rose. As I mentioned before, I remember the earlier days where you were the queen of falling.
Oh God. It actually came across that too. I came across with one of my my status on Facebook. I was like, if I fall one more time, and I'm thinking, what the hell was that? I was like, oh yeah, she couldn't walk in heels.
Baby queen. This is a baby queen.
Yeah, and mind you, I was wearing the chunky heels too. On top of that, how are you gonna fall with that? How? Right.
This craziness. And so for you being a creator and being a drag queen and this being a time of like Corona where everyone's gigs, if you are a creator in the same vein as you are, have experienced like, a shortage in many ways of like the gigs, of what to do during this time period since everything is so shut down, and yes, we've made certain progressions to move forward and open things back up and do it like in a smart ways, like I saw downtown at the port bar they're doing on the streets, which is really cool. How was this all like? How did this all affect you when this all first happened and you started to realize, okay, I won't be able to be booking like jobs at the clubs and things anymore?
So honestly, like thankfully I had a day job as well. And then I mean,
Team
obviously,
day jobs.
right? So everything when it happened in like March 19th, it was just like shut down completely. So it's like it's in the beginning, it's like, oh, like we kind of need a vacation, like from the world.
Right.
I get it. Things are like it's very struggling because of what's happening, but it's like we all kind of need like a break from life because life is just too hard sometimes. And it's like and it's not hard enough. It's just like it comes at you so quickly that we're like our attention span is just like a fishbowl. No, what is it called? It's like a fish in a fishbowl, pretty much. Like, you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
It's
Yes.
like, so being able to like just stay at home for like maybe the first month or two was good because it helped you reflect and
For
it helped
sure.
you do a lot of things pre-plan for like future stuff.
Yes.
And it was also kind of relieving a little bit to like get off, not do drag for a little bit because it is like you're trying one up and also enjoy it every time you get on and face and lashes and everything. So getting to have that break was relieving and I
Yes.
get a breath. But then after a while, it kind of set in very well. Just like, okay, well, things are not opening up anytime soon. Like things are actually getting worse because people, one, are not being responsible, and two, it's like, what's the government doing? Like,
Right.
like
Where
there's
y'all at?
hello, like you're trying to help us, but like we're trying to help you, we're trying, and then it's like no one's like, like I feel like a lot of people were feeling this that they were just like we're stuck, and then
Right.
you are not doing anything.
Yeah.
Or if because then you see other countries are like opening up a little bit more faster than we are, and it's like I mean not 100%, but like they're letting more rules. And I mean it also goes hand in hand. Like we give and then we receive the exact same thing. A lot of people weren't giving what the government was giving to us.
Right.
So it's like again the yin and yang thing.
Mm-hmm.
So then for me it was a little bit depressing because I was like it's like I can't really do drag, and then I didn't want to like with things being closed I didn't want to use my makeup that I have to like get like you know what I mean, like
Oh, I know what you mean.
right, like I was like I'm gonna leave it there. One, I don't want to contaminate it. Two, I don't want to keep using it, and just for like photos and stuff like that. And I
Right.
I was lucky enough to do one virtual drag show for Amortiz. She did for the Port Bar, and it was a Latina.
I am Aura.
Hi, Amora. So we did that, and it was fun. It was like it was the first time I actually experienced trying to do a music video. We stay up until like 5 a.m. in the morning. We were like, I got in drag like at 6 p.m. got everything done. Like, girl, it was a production. When I told you I had lights everywhere, like if you guys see it in my Instagram account, you'll see it like the Becky G Mayores. It's a rough draft of like how to do music. I've never done it, but it was so much fun doing it, and I was very proud of how it actually came out. But that was really being, but then again, I'm a very social person. I go off by people's reactions when you're next to them, and so it's a little struggling, not and depressing, not to just be at the clubs and not booking.
No, definitely, definitely. And I'm also the same way. I was just talking to somebody else the other day where we discussed like just the interaction, the human interaction that goes with or comes with going to a bar or a club and just like experiencing other people that are like-minded, queer people, other people who want to drink, other people that want to buy me a drink.
Right.
Okay, all those people. And so one thing I do know, I remember about you is that I don't know if you're still with this person or not, but the last person you were with, you met at the club, right?
Yes, we are not together anymore, actually, but we are living together. Girl, that's a whole sorry, let's start for later on.
I was gonna say, girl, let me pour another glass.
Right. No, we're actually we're roommates now.
Fabulous.
We broke up last August.
Okay.
The day before, I was like, I know people are like everyone's saying like COVID is gonna test your relationships. I was like, thank God I'm not in one.
I was gonna say,
The fact that we're living together right now, it's like able to test it even more. I mean, mind you, we know each other and we're very much alike in a lot of different ways. So it's like, so I was like, no, I'm glad we're roommates. I mean, it still tests our friendship, but
for
I'm glad
sure.
yeah.
And so are you still, I remember you were, last time we talked, you were like in the East Bay. Are you living in the East Bay?
Yes, actually, I am in Hayward. I just moved here.
You live in Hayward, my old stomping grounds.
Okay. She is a very.
So I was always in that area.
You're always cute, but girl, you let me know.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm COVID negative. I just tested recently, so I am. So we can go kick it in here. We're still getting it together. I'm putting LED lights like around.
Yes.
Don't worry.
And side note, Hayward has some of the cutest drug dealers. Like they have some of the cutest little thug drug dealers, little Latin daddy.
I haven't seen any.
Oh, did they retire since I left? They used to be cute.
No, well, this is what my roommate says too. He goes, because like a lot of the guys here used to be very like good looking, and then now it's like you get the older puppies, which is like when you stay in the sun too much.
Donald Trump,
but the Latin version.
Got it.
Let go. So yeah,
don't want it nonetheless.
No. And I'm like, and if every once in a while that you see a cute kid like around my age, actually no, I haven't seen any around my age, but like I don't know, girl. I've looked on Grindr and they ain't no cute boys in here, and I'm like, well, they're life, very very good.
I'm so sorry to hear that. They used to be so cute in Hayward and young.
Though I will tell you this. There's this one guy that I just came in I was coming from work the other day, and he was running. We're getting off topic, but anyways, he was running, and I'm like, man, looking, I was like, just,
yeah,
all right, chocolate like mocha. No, it was mocha. It was just dark chocolate, running with his tights and then no shirt. I was like. And I know because I'm like, there's one guy in Grindr that is dark and chocolate, and he's very muscular. And I was like, that's him.
Yes.
No other black boys in here that I know they're good looking and has that muscle. Like that is him. And I was like, I'm too tired to run. I'm like, I ain't trying to do that. I was like, next time I see him on ground, I'll just tap it and that's it.
Right. And make sure he's around so when it dings, and it's his phone. Like,
right.
Oh, yeah, that's you.
Right. I was like,
no need to search any further.
No.
So I want to ask you a little bit about something that's going to be, this is an interesting part of the interview / conversation / shooting the shit that we're doing right now. Let's talk Drag Race really quick. Yeah. Why is it that San Francisco, or do you believe that San Francisco has not been represented on Drag Race in 12 seasons? We've only had 2 queens, the second queen being the queen that showed up on this very last season, season 12. Shout out Rock'em Sakura. Why do you think it is so hard? Or do you think there's like a conspiracy to why San Francisco has not been represented on this show as of yet?
Honestly, I'm confused about it. I'm also very confused. I'm like, I'm not trying to overstress it, but I also overstress myself because of like, I really do want to audition once things get back. I mean, mind you, people still like auditioning now, and I think They just finished the other what, season 13.
Season 13, I think they just finished wrapping.
Exactly. So like, and they're still gonna be able to do it. It's just when I was just thinking, I was it, I'm not 100% sure if queens from San Francisco are auditioning, and if they are, they're not doing the same amount as like everybody else. I know, like RuPaul is a very New York queen.
Yes.
So,
very New York heavy.
Maybe a little bit biased about that, and then he's very just like trying to represent New York and all. But I know Militia auditioned for Drag Race. I know Pollo auditioned for Drag Race a long time ago, and I know a handful of other queens audition. But we are getting a lot of different queens nowadays that are rising up. So they're maybe it's just the balancing of like constantly auditioning, because some people like will do it for once and then they're like, oh, I didn't get it, so I'll give up.
Right.
I'm not. I just want to get my shit together, and then as long as I have all the things I need, I'm not just audition, because now I have like the things in my closet. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I don't have anything, and now that I'm like building up everything, and I have like rep and all my portfolio done, I can actually audition perfectly well. Again, that's me. So like if I can't have everything together, like my audition together, that I can present and actually get there, I mean, and have the basics done,
right?
Which a lot of the queens don't.
No.
I'm like, you're in 12, 13 season. If I hear one more time, I don't know how to sew. And that's and everyone thinks it too. It's like, why?
Right.
It's the stitch, and like that's like if you don't know how to sew with the machine, I get it. I get stuck too. Like, and my mom's a seamstress and my grandmother too. And then sometimes I'll be doing it, and then it's like, I'm like, okay, let me do it again. And then it's like I get it, it's a frustration. I'm like, I do not mind just sewing by hand. And I know it's gonna take a lot longer, but I will not mind going and bring it back to my hotel room, keep working in it and get it done.
That's it.
So I have no idea. Like it maybe is a little biased too, but it's also it also reflects on the queens here. Like if you guys are not auditioning and not trying to and I get it. Some of the queens are like, I'm a little queen, I'm a club kid and stuff like that. But we've had club kids too in the show too.
For sure.
So it's always about molding and representing yourself, and also go with the flow with things. No one's telling your drag is shit.
No
one. And it's like, and everyone has their own type of drag, but it's also like, do the challenges, do the little, like it's more about exploring yourself and what you can do, and not that what you cannot do, it's what you can do.
Exactly.
And it's like and you keep them in mind. It's like for me, like I know I would love to start doing more like abstract makeup for myself instead of just being one that would just be in a normal.
We're safe queens right now.
We're safe queens right now, but you know she's on brand.
Yes.
But also like I've done there was a Halloween, I did a little bit more clown makeup, and I was like, oh, this is cool. I've done I've explored a little bit, keeping it cute, but also keeping it a little bit more abstract. Yeah. So I mean, that's what I gotta say. It's just some maybe it's hand in hand. Like maybe some queens they're giving up instead of keep auditioning like other queens have. And yeah, it's discouraging to hear like queens on the show. It's like, oh, I only auditioned once. Well,
yeah.
Like thanks. And then where are you from? New York, or like East Coast.
Yes.
Like, great, thanks. So we get it. Or LA. So it's like
right. It's definitely something I've noticed over the last few years because I'm a drag. I do watch Drag Race. I have a lot of gay friends, queer friends, drag queen friends. A lot of them don't even watch the show. I guess they have their own qualms with it. I think it goes back to even some of what you said about, maybe the discouragement of they might have auditioned a few years back and never really got on. And so, I'm sure that plays a part in sometimes people's mental of wanting to actually enjoy this show or not because they broke my heart. in a sense. But I do find it kind of odd personally that San Francisco, like I said, has not been represented. But one thing I want to ask you to follow up with that is, how would you describe the drag in San Francisco? Because New York has a brand of drag queen, in my opinion. They have a certain brand of drag queen because we've seen 5 or 6 a season on this show. So they have a brand of a queen. Chicago has a brand. Miami, Orlando has a brand. Dallas has a brand. What do you think is the San Francisco brand, and why do you think it has not hit mainstream yet like some of these other markets have?
So I'm a little, I would say, like, honestly, with the brand of San Francisco, it's a little versatile, very versatile. We do have a lot of like looks queens. Yes. We have which they do amazing jobs like looks and Club Kid. I've seen like one of my favorite ones is Abominatrix. Yes. And she will go and I live for her since she was one of the first queens that like I saw like that looks, and I was just like, I was just amazed by her, and I was and then but we also have like a lot of like classic drag, but also very like imperial, very pretty.
Yes.
So it's like I would say very versatile, very liberal, because everyone does their own type intertwined with like the political part of if they're very political queens, they'll intertwine with their own drag, or cultural, same thing. It's like I would say versatile, and and it's good because it's like, and a lot of these queens are like, even though they're the cultural drag, they will still bring looks, and I was like, whoa, yeah. But it's still keeping brand because it's like it's a very cultural look, and yeah, no, it's like very liberal and versatile at the same time. That's what I'm saying. It's not very. And I don't I know like New York, they're very high fashion, more style. Sure.
Yeah, they're in the fashion capital, so one would assume that they're on the more high fashion spectrum of drag. They have a lot more drag designers out there, I know for sure.
Exactly. So it's like for here, it's like we do have a lot of designers, but it's like more about expressing yourself and not just being like so keeping one thing. So that's why I like to say that San Francisco area is.
That makes sense. That makes sense. I definitely think that I agree with everything you just said. I think with San Francisco, from my personal observations, I think that there's a lot of hairy queens here, which for some strange reason, call me crazy, but I do not know why a hairy or a bearded queen hasn't been showcased yet. I don't know if that's just like a preference thing of RuPaul herself or the production team, but I did see that Holland's Drag Race has featured a bearded queen for the first time in ages, and I'm with everyone else. Like, this should have been done already in the American version. Like you mentioned, Militia used to wear a beard. If she doesn't still,
I think she's off of it now. Last time I checked, she didn't have one, but I think she's gonna go back to it.
Exactly. So
I mean, I love her either way. She's fierce either way. And I wish I could grow that beard there, girl. As a boy, I'm like, can I just be very.
Beards feel good between legs, okay? So I'm curious to know, again, why some of that has not been branded. And again, I don't know if it's like a personal preference of the show, because every show has an agenda. No matter how linear it may be, every show has an agenda. So maybe it's just one of those things. But I do believe that it's something that should be showcased.
Excuse me. Yeah, like Holland having, like, when we first said the fact it was the first bearded queen, I was like, yes, like this is amazing. Like, you give me something else instead of just being like pretty, a little bit more clowny, a little bit more, like classic drag, and it's like, okay, I get it. But everyone has their own dynamics, which I love. It's a reality TV show,
of course.
But like, and then when they brought Gia Gunn to what's it called, All Stars, I was like, great, a transgender woman.
Yes,
I know it from the start.
Yes,
and not from like you know how we had like in the past that we found out through like in the mid season, going like, oh, I'm transgender, and I was brave with them to actually open up. But it's also like, I was like, we should start bringing them from the beginning, like
Yes.
and so they were a bear queen. And I know in what there was one of episodes they actually had um there goes Prima barking at everybody else. Y'all ignore her. She's an attention whore just like me. But Prima, so she like they had an episode with a bunch of beards and I loved it because it was just like okay fine, but it's also like you can tell it's fake beard. Like I wish I had like more natural because
Hair.
yes, but it's also like I've seen like you when you like you have a beard but you still very nicely polished. You have everything nicely blended.
Thank you.
One spot right there, but I'm fucking with you. No, but you know what I mean. Like it's like I've seen a lot of queens that they have full on beard and Melissa does too. Like she's gotten so much better.
Yeah.
And I find like from like the same thing. Everyone improves their own drag. And then when I first met her, with I used to not be a fan of beards. I was like, why? Like, I'm doing drag. You trying to be a woman, so like, am I
right?
And then I was like, that's just lazy. And then I thought about it as it going on, and I was admiring Melissa. She was getting like a beard, and I was like, oh, one, because about the fact that you can grow up, you're like that, full. Not little patchy, it was full.
Yes.
Oh.
No, for sure.
It's a and then two, it's just like the way she started blending it out and seamlessly like cheekbones and the eyes. I was like, oh girl, I'm living for your fucking look. So like things like that. It's like there are a lot of queens like this now, yes. And it's like, and they don't. It's like I'm not. And again, I feel like a lot of people are not. It goes back to what we were talking earlier. Is the fact that it's like they're unsure because it's not on brand of Drag Race, because you see a lot of pretty queens,
yes,
years, and say they're unsure if it's gonna be like with it or not. I mean, I'm like, and I always tell them just go for it, like just pushing, because it's not about and I think it's not about like the fact it's like RuPaul doesn't want beard.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, can you deliver?
Yeah.
And if a lot of the queens are not keep doing it how they're supposed to be doing, like keep delivering what they want, even with the beard. Like again, canvas.
Right.
It can go from here to here. You can have wait. You can have not have even have a lip. As long as you can deliver this and deliver the rest, you're stopped.
Exactly.
Like you can have not even have one arm or one leg. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
like sure. And it's like, don't get discouraged because you see all these pretty queens. And I've gotten to that point too. I'm like, oh my god, this girl get a lot more balls than I am, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to do it. But sometimes I'm like, and I look at her, I'm like, girl, Sendra, like, get your life.
Right.
Like, if a lot of these queens can do it, you can do it too. Like, it doesn't matter if you have to keep trying for multiple seasons and keep auditioning. If you really want to get it, if you want to like get the attention, make sure you switch it up.
Yes.
Be versatile. It's always good to be versatile. Don't stick it one day.
No.
Especially if you want to get somewhere that you know a lot of people are going to come to you to get to know you, who you are, and actually be your brand. Explore yourself.
Yeah.
We only have one life, so just explore yourself.
This has been the year we've learned that the most.
Exactly. Clearly.
Yes. So that's absolute. I totally agree. And I also think that one thing that's important, or I think that's very important, especially when you audition, not only for Drag Race, but for anything. Like I do a lot of self-tapes right now because of, there's quarantine and COVID and all that. So a lot of self-taping auditions and all that. But one thing that I find very important is that you have to have something that's brandable. You have to be like very secure in what you're bringing to the table.
Exactly.
Because if you do not know, like for instance, I won't name any names, but there was a city queen who had done a TV show and, did not have a brand by that point. I think she does now from what I remember, but she didn't really have a brand. And so marketing her and her being successful in mainstream didn't really work because she didn't even know who the hell she was. And so I think that San Francisco, if I was to give any criticism, because I think we have some of the best talent here, and this is like the gay capital of the US of A, which is another reason why it's kind of like, come on, SF, can we get it together a little bit? And the caliber of drag queens we have are really good. We have seasoned queens, we have new queens, we have Halloween queens, we have spooky queens, we have look queens, we have Latin queens, we have black queens, we have bearded queens, we have everybody. And so for me, that's just not an excuse for us to not have been perfected our excellence to the point where we could become a little bit more mainstream, in my humble opinion.
Exactly. Like, girl, no, like we are so diverse. It's ridiculous. Like,
Yes.
I have to get like, I get a little discouraged. And I'm like, considering like again, Paul, she's African American, and we've had a lot of Latinos, but I haven't seen a lot of like African Americans or just black, like, or for anywhere where if it's a Latin black, like African black, European black, anything. We haven't had any of that. So it's like, like as frequent as we see a lot of the Caucasian or light skin or anything else.
Yes.
It's like, and that's a little bit discouraging. And I get it because I am Colombian. I am mixed. I'm biracial. So it's like I get a little bit discouraged in certain things. I'm like, maybe they don't like me. I'm like, I don't know how to like do a couple things. It's like, and this is what I come. It comes to my mind from the second I wake up and the second I go to sleep.
Yes.
So it does come to mind getting discouraged. So it's like, I just want them to be like, push it.
Yes.
Yeah, just pushing it. Just push it.
Yes, and shove San Francisco in their face.
Like, there's so much talent. I mean, I'm learning how to do a death drop, and I'm down to a couple death drop, and I can do it slow, and I can.
Hey,
the splits, I'm learning because I'm trying. Girl, those nice long baths at night. Besides
it feels better when someone's in the tub with you.
No, right? No, like for me, like the long baths, I'm like, I'll relax my muscles, and then right before I go to bed, I stretch a little bit once in a while. I mean, mind you, somebody else would be too, because then
you'll be doing a lot of stretching.
Right? Okay? When you really think about it, it was like when you do normal stretching, as like, oh, I'm working out, or like actually stretching, you're like, okay, wow, I'm 10. But when you actually like have someone from the back, and then you're like, wow, I'm flexible. I did not think about this. I don't know why. It's all in the mind, baby girl.
You're training for the Olympics when you go to the gym, okay?
Right. I mean, what's going on?
Yes. Yes, and I do remember, side note, one of the classic Sendra Rose numbers is breaking mirrors. Breaking mirrors? Broken mirrors.
Breaking dishes. Excuse me. Breaking dishes. Girl.
Breaking dishes.
Girl, I did that like 2 or 3 months ago.
Like, if I ever have to, like, if a gun is to my head and I have to think of a Sendra Rose performance, that's going to be the one.
Breaking dishes and Commando. Actually, now it's more like let's go back to the Gemini.
Yes.
So, like, breaking dishes, you get them a bad side, bitch. You're about to get cut.
Yes.
Introduction. I was like, I like that because I have a mix with that, and I'm like, so I have introduction with that, and I'm like, and everyone's like, girl, I was like, I know, right?
Exactly. And so I also wanted to, like, a side note and tell you, okay, so for those of you who don't know, me and Sendra used to work together for a time period.
Yes.
And do you know that the same thing that happened to you happened to me?
Girl. Really? You were doing well.
I thought I was too.
You were doing everything. I don't know what you said. So here's the thing. Y'all need to let's get, you know what?
Let's tell the truth.
We're gonna put this on. Hold on a second. Let me just get my little
water. We have to refresh the okay.
Oh no, she drank it all. So she needs to, like, you know. Okay.
This is Sendra Rose, ladies and gentlemen, okay?
Oh no, she's a classy girl. She's
your local drunk auntie.
No. She's a dose queen. Just a little dose of courage.
That's it. Yeah. Oh,
got a little cut off on my. You know, I was trying to go for like how the Southern Belles used to go. So I was like, if I was back in the day, I would be the Latina Southern girl.
The Latina Jezebel.
You know, with the nice what are these called?
Gloves.
Yes. All right. I'm like, girl, like my translation sometimes goes so off. I'm like, I'm
Oh.
going with my English, and there's a one time, and I'm like, what is that again? My English just went off the roof. So yeah, so I was going like if I was back in the day, if I was a black Latino girl or biracial, let's get it right before everyone wants to start reading me.
Drag her. No, just
A
kidding.
biracial girl back in the day, I would be like this with my little cuss like this.
Yes.
I would do it. Fuck it. I was like, if you got it, fun it.
Shit, okay.
And be classy, you know.
Yes, together.
Sir,
Together.
but oh wow.
Yeah, so the same thing that happened to you happened to me.
So let's get into it. I got fired. And so
well, the cat's out of the bag now.
What?
So, well, the cat's out of the bag now.
Right. So I got fired. I got let go because what? She's trying to test my patience. This little bitch. I'll show you guys later. So I got let go because honestly, it was just bullshit. It was one time. Actually, no. Scratch that. The other manager from the other store was another gentleman who's gay.
Yes.
Another guy, younger.
Yes.
He had this uppity snout, thinking that he's better than everybody else, saying like, "Oh, I work here, I work there, blah blah blah." Right, you know where you
do that in retail, like
right. Yeah, he was naming brands and like I used to work there. I was like, mind you, last time I checked, you got let go and people didn't and kept being moved around because people did not could not stand you. So do not start saying like you're like I work this.
Right. Yeah. We know the full tea.
Right. And so then he just like came up onto our. We used to work with Camper, and I was
tell the truth.
We used to work with Camper, and so Camper is a Spanish brand.
Yes,
very much go with the flow, like very stylish and cool. It's a shoe brand, and it's a Spanish shoe brand.
Yes.
So we actually had fun working there. For the longest time, like and then he came in, and then this manager over here, girl, should I say the name? I'm like, so. You know what?
We'll have to give them a code name. We'll give them a fun code.
Let's call him. What's a good fitting name?
Wait, who are we describing before we continue? Our manager or the other one?
The other one.
Let's call him.
Like the one that had a problem that specifically had a problem with me.
Oh, okay. Let's call him Brandon. We're gonna call him Brandon.
No, this is right. David.
All right, we'll call him David. Hi, David, wherever you are.
Hi, David. So David had a problem with me.
Yes.
One. So I had no idea what I did to him because I like last time I checked, I all he knew was the fact that it's like I did drag on another thing. I was working with and I was very happy and everything. I always came on time. I mean, not all the time. Like everyone has their own like off.
Andres, I worked with you.
No, you know what I mean. Like everyone had their off days, and that's fine. And back in the day, I didn't have my shit together. I had a lot of shit going on, and I admit to that. And it's like I would come in late, but it wasn't like a frequent thing. Like I know I would like be on it, done. And so Lucas, girl.
David. You're cover here.
Anyways, girl. Anyway, I should know what's given. I'm an adult. I'm 27. I get to say whatever I want. Anyways,
I was gonna say
David had a big problem. I don't know what it was. I was like, I don't know. Have you not gotten late that much? I was like, I was getting it, but at that time, I was like,
I heard some nasty stuff about David.
Do not give it to us. Like, you know what I mean? Like I know when you don't you like get it. Like when you don't get it, it's like then you get frustrated with the whole world.
Right.
It's like and the hand won't give you enough, and it's like, ugh, God, or the
I'm
other,
there right now.
right? And same. I mean the same
Bitter.
thing. And so it's like David was just on it for me. I have no idea why. He came and was like mouthing out our manager, and I'm like, y'all really need to get to there. And then next thing, one day I came in hungover. But I was there. I was there on time.
But I was there. I was there.
No, I came in hungover. I was there on time. And it's like, and then I was like, whatever. I was there. And then the whole day passed. And then the next day I came in.
Oh, fudge.
What happened? It's like, so, there's David on the corner and there's our manager right here. And so we're letting you go because of this. I was like, I know you not calling the pot kettle black. But I was like, bitch. And I'm talking about the manager. I was like, because he come in all the time, the store manager, all the time hungover, smelling like booze, smelling like everything else.
Cigarettes and everything else.
And stay in the back and the work in the front. Do not start with me, baby boy.
Oh, yeah.
Like, and then they were over here and in the corner, not even trying to keep eye contact with me.
Most people that worked at Camper, to be fair, was stoners. Like, I think everyone was a stoner. Like, there was nobody on our staff that did not smoke.
Like, none. I mean, mind you, I do too, but like, I ain't trying to come in. I'm like, because I know how certain things come in, like, for me. I'm like, if I smoke,
right.
I'll be like,
oh, she was out clubbing last night. You know, she does drag. You know, that's how that's what they'll say.
I'm like, and what's your problem? I'm making money. What's your, what's, like, no.
You're on your knees for free.
Exactly. So I'm like, what's your, like, are you jealous or something? Like, it's like not my problem. Like, you know, you're jealous, all this.
And I heard he has some like net, like, I'm spilling his tea, but I heard some stuff. I heard some stuff about what he's into, which
I know. I got told because our manager went to all, was it Vegas or something? I don't know, but I think it was New York.
For one of those meetings?
Yes. Girl, the meetings, and he's like, I like to get, and I was like, oh, and he was telling me about it. I was like, girl, I mean, whoever watches this, they're gonna like put two together. I can get.
You know what? It's been so many years at this point. Like,
no, and you know what? It's really funny because I actually met after that whole ordeal. I actually talked to our manager, and he goes,
yes.
He was like, they robbed you. I was like, what? And I was like, think back on how you actually like on your last paycheck. And it's like they did not pay you the rest of the stuff. And I was like, really? And then I looked around. I was like, oh,
you're right.
I was like, Camper, they're really trying to fuck me up. But I was like, back on this because I'm like, I moved to a better place. I'm getting paid nicely, way more, like perfect what I deserve right now. I'm doing my job. I'm always on time. There's no problem with me with work. And it's like I've learned from my mistakes in the past, and now that I've developed in work-wise, super happy. I'm content, and that's why I moved to Hayward to like to save money, to still have that money that going in, like keep it and pay off everything, and then keep up with this beauty. I mean, she's maintenance. Come on,
seriously. And anybody that knows the Bay Area knows that living in San Francisco will break you. Like,
and mind you, now things are like things are coming lower and lower in San Francisco because of the whole pandemic. Thank God. I mean, maybe within, I mean, things are not going to come back to open within until next year, the end of next year, like fully, 110% until next year, which is great because if things go lower, I'm like, I'm not mind moving back.
Yeah.
Because it'll be cheap. I'm like, get a good 2-bedroom apartment for maybe like $2,500. Oh, or a house for $383. Oh God.
Yes.
But yeah, no. So like, and then and that David, I saw him one day while I went performance that I was performing. QR
breaking dishes. No.
When I tell you, so he walks in and I'm like, oh hi, and I'm like, and he's like, Sandra, we need to talk about what happened. I was like, not right now, I'm busy, thank you. And I just fell off. I was like, do not talk to me about that. Yeah, honey, You caused this. You were talking shit.
And now you want me to stop what I'm doing to come and talk to you.
Yeah, no, boo boo.
Not happening.
And then that happened. It's similar to, well, was it our manager? No, he wasn't working with. It was the other manager. Oh, the higher up one. Oh, that one. That one's the one that screwed me over with my paycheck. What he do?
So, long story short, he had hired a general manager. After the two, David and our manager, left, the company decided that they wanted to merge the San Francisco market, the two stores together, and have one general manager.
Yeah.
So that general manager came in, and it was a very weird setup on how they had everything. So it was the general manager, he had an assistant manager, which I applied for and I got, and then they had a sales supervisor, which was below that. But where the confusion started to come in at was that the assistant manager was at the mall store, which was me, and the sales supervisor was at the street store. But the street store the street store housed the general manager. So the general manager and the sales supervisor were in the same store, but the assistant was in a different store. This just does not make sense. And so the sales supervisor started to get a little uppity because, as I told you before, the sales supervisor role is below the assistant manager role, so he was getting paid less, but he was working directly with the general manager, so he felt like he was doing the assistant manager's job. So he
was a key holder like us.
He was a glorified key holder. He was a key holder with one or two more requirements that gave him a new title. So one thing led to another. He started being very messy. The sales supervisor would come over to the mall store. He would go through inventory. He'll do little messy things on my off days and go report back to the general manager like, oh, James is slipping at the mall store doing this. James isn't doing that, blah, blah, blah. He would have secret meetings with the district manager or our regional manager. He would go and have meetings with him, not necessarily about me, but just trying to figure out how he can move up past me. And it started to become crazy. It started to become crazy. And so, one thing led to another. Then they brought in this Asian girl. I don't know if you've ever come across.
I think I met her.
Yes, this Asian girl from Los Angeles.
Never met her.
She's been with Camper for many years. Last name rhymes with Moo. First name rhymes with Moo.
think I know who you're talking about.
Okay. She took over the store once the general manager got fired. Once the general manager got fired, they were on a rampage with me. They said, we want a clean house. We want because they had some problems with the general manager. So they wanted to clean house and get rid of me too. And so they started doing certain things, like they started messing with my schedule. They started taking away certain privileges that I got as a manager. They did not send me on the trainings. They sent me on one training, but they did not send me on any of the managerial trainings because at one point we didn't even have a manager. And so they started doing just a whole bunch of dicey stuff. And later on, I found out that there was a conspiracy to get rid of me. There was a whole bunch of craziness. And so I made the exit myself. I quit the same day. And the next following week, 3 or 4 of the other people that worked under me left as well. So there was one point where the store only had one person working in it regularly in the mall. And so, I know you used to work open to closes like I did.
Mm-hmm.
And so you know how brutal that can be.
Girl, it's not even that. I've done I know the shifts were from what was it, 9?
10 to 9.
Right. Because we didn't have not much to honestly, we were selling shoes.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It was like white walls and boredom.
We had 10 to 9.
Yeah.
Nothing else to do. We come in, check in, that's it.
Yeah.
We have to clock in. And it's we just have to make sure everything's nice and set, and then hi, how you doing? and it's and everyone wanted to make it a bigger deal. I'm like, this is not Valentino. This is not Versace. This is not freaking Louis Vuitton. What in the hell you thinking you're making a bigger deal?
Right.
And you know what it is? It's and everyone wants to be in competition with, and that goes with society. It's everyone wants to be in so much competition with everybody else.
Yes.
Why? Same thing with kind of the gay community too. Sometimes everyone wants to be in competition. It's this one's better looking than I am, and have that blah, blah, and I'm like,
right.
Why are you doing all that stuff? It's just unnecessary. Like you're making more of a negativity and putting more negativity in the world than needs to be more positive because there's a lot of shit going on right now.
No,
And
seriously.
not
Seriously. And so I am excited. So tell me, just to wrap up now, tell me, what do you have going on in the future? What should we be looking out for when it comes to Sendra Rose, Queen Sendra Rose?
so actually tomorrow, which today is what the October 10th. Oh girl, I just got
Is that a dick pic? No.
I don't know whose name is this, but I was like, I have it saved in my phone. So today's what, October 10th. So October 12th, tomorrow, I'm gonna no October 11th. Why am I skipping dates?
I was gonna
October,
say.
that's right. October 11th, tomorrow, I'm doing a drag brunch. It's gonna be in Oakland. It's gonna be for Oakland Pride, I believe, because Oakland Pride is this weekend, right? Like, honestly, with everything going on, it's like things like get like
I don't know.
actually, it was a last minute thing. One of my sisters, she's like, "Hey, would you like to perform?" And I'm like, "Yes." I haven't performed in a while. Last time I performed was a fundraiser. Actually, no, a brunch in SF.
Mm-hmm.
It was outside. And so tomorrow's gonna be like, "Hey, can you perform?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm down for it." And let me be outside.
Yes.
Give me food. I'll be happy. And then so I was like,
in your clear mask.
yeah, yeah. Oh,
I was gonna say, I know the queens have been beautiful.
right.
Beautiful.
It is fog free. I need to like clean up here because like the lenses. I don't know what is going on.
Oh, it happened.
I have this on and I'm like, "Hey, can you talk to me?" And you would not. No fog, baby boy. So we see everything that I say.
Yeah.
But yes, that's brunch tomorrow in Oakland. It's gonna be um it's gonna be lit. I'm not I forgot what the address is gonna be, but it's in an alleyway near 12th Street.
Fabulous.
Everyone can actually look it up in on there's a bunch of different events for Oakland Pride. But everyone can look it up on Facebook. If you look up Oakland Pride and brunch, there you go. Then on Halloween, actually, there's gonna be a Halloween dinner that I'll be performing at 620 Jones Street.
Okay.
It'll be from 5 to 10. There's a lot of fabulous queens that I love. I haven't performed with a lot of them actually. The only one I performed is the hostess. Okay. But I'm really excited to see these other different queens because I've seen their videos. I'm like, these queens are gonna kill it.
Yes.
It's a dinner show, Halloween. I'm gonna experiment with my drag. And then and on the 8th of November, also I'll be performing a pork pie for brunch.
Oh, fuck it up. So you're literally booked.
Yes, I am fine, girl. Yes, even though thankfully things are opening up right now, and it's like in a nice, safe area, like being distant and also open air, so it doesn't like help it doesn't contaminate everyone. I mean, honestly, I believe in the thing like the power of the herd.
Yes.
Get it? Because
yes.
we can survive through it and help each other. I'm like, we are a herd, regardless of anything. It's just like
yes.
But yeah, no, on November 8th, I'll be in Port Bar. I'll be doing the drag brunch with my sister Amora Tees. Hi, Amora.
Hi, Amora.
Giving you a little
is so cute in and out of drag, by the way.
What?
I said Amora is so cute in and out of drag, by the way. Yes, gorgeous. Just a gorgeous. Oh, you stop that now.
Oh.
Hi, Amora.
Hi, Amora. She don't want you to be like, she's like, girl, why are you telling my business? I was like, do you not want me to promote that? Because
oh yeah, all that's welcomed on the show.
That's right. Yeah. You want me to promote certain things too. Mm-hmm. Hey, but yeah, so yeah, I'll be performing that. So I'm happy to get back into it. I'm so honestly, it's like my drag is my therapy.
Oh yes.
Like it's the way I can actually talk to people, express, and then just relax for the time being.
Yeah, no, for sure. And so I am excited because I obviously have known you for many years. You are one of the queens that I'm closest with here in the San Francisco market. So I'm excited that you came on to James's Kickback and really showed out. You came fashionably late, but at any good party, you're going to.
I mean, come on.
You know.
She gotta be at least 10 minutes late. At least.
Well, you got that right. And thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much. I'm going to talk to you soon. My face, I think, has melted a little bit from all the lights that I'm under. So I'm going to have to reapply. But it's been a joy and a privilege. And this episode will be available shortly for you all to enjoy at your leisure. And any final parting words, Miss Sendra?
Be yourself, love yourself. And honestly, fuck everybody else. Right? And you can follow me on Instagram with A_S_Rose01 and all the social medias.
That literally sounds like an AIM, like messenger name. Like, do you remember back in the day with A?
Oh God, I used to have that too, girl. But mine was like Dre the Cool, and actually was like, oh, actually no, Porky. I don't know why I said Porky. I was chubby. But I mean, now I'm still Porky the Cool. I don't know what it is. Because I was like, well, I'm still thick.
That's like a black person calling himself Django. Like, oh, hey, I'm
girl, no, seriously, no. Yeah, you know what? Damn.
That doesn't make sense. But thank you so much for the Porky reference.
Yeah.
Okay, please go back and be great, Sendra Rose. I'll talk to you later. Hold up.